Here. Here. Feel. Hear, feel, think.
Hey you! You alright, lass? You were moaning something fierce for a while there. Feeling the effects of the ether, I reckon. You'll get used to it though, don't worry. You there, halt! What's all this about? Inspection. Men search the carriage. I'm just an honest peddler, friend, so don't be too disappointed if you don't find nothing, eh? Mind your tongue, old man, lest I cut it out. Sir, look, Somnus. Honest peddler, was it? Since when do honest peddlers deal in prohibited herbs? You're in a lot of trouble, old man. You'll rot in a dungeon till the end of your days, unless you can afford the fine. Business as usual. Wah! Emulsia, to arms! Seven hells. Consider this a warning. Now go, all of you. I'm not the only one who caught that the brass blade pulled the Somnus out of his pocket and not out of the carriage, right? Hey everyone, and welcome to the final of the 3 opening story arcs for Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. Been wanting to do this one for a while. This is the one opening story arc I have not played myself, so I'm going to be largely going in fresh, not knowing really what's going to happen, and that is exciting. So, let us get started with yet another Satora's beginning to her adventure. Whew, that kind of excitement ain't good for the heart. You be careful around them brass blades, lass. Bastards will have the shirt off your back if they fancy it. Like common bandits they are, only less honest. Think the gods were sending some beastmen to the rescue, eh? Hey, seeing as we've still got a long ride ahead, you mind keeping me company till we arrive? Them young'uns don't care much for conversation, see? Bren's the name, and peddling's me trade. And judging by your unusual garments, I'll wager one of them new adventures. I knew it, going wherever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory, now that's what I call living. So long as you can avoid dying, I mean. Ain't no secret that adventuring's a risky business, these days especially. What was it that first attracted you to it? Well, as always with Satora, her backstory has her setting out specifically to earn money to help her family survive after the calamity, with the Shroud getting more dangerous and tensions with Gridania rising. Fortune, eh? Then I reckon you'll fit right in where we're going. Once you've learned to handle yourself in a fight, you'll want to pay a visit to whichever crafting or gathering guild tickles your fancy. And there are plenty to choose from too, whether it be weaving, alchemy, goldsmith, or mining that interests you. Ul'dah's got a place where you can learn your trade. Adventuring ain't just about killing things after all. A peaceful pastime may well help you make your fortune. Just remember though, there are more important things than fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead, and that's a fact. By the by, is this your first trip to Ul'dah? It is indeed, well, for this Satora at least. It is! Well then, let this journeyed itinerant tell you the ins and outs of your destination. Ul'dah is ruled by the Sultana in name, but as most folk know, the Syndicate holds all the real power. Them and their monetarist cronies would happily get rid of her grace altogether, but that won't happen while she still commands the loyalty of the Royalists. And the Royalists are nothing if not loyal. These factions have long fought over power, throwing the weight of their wealth against each other, and they show no sign of stopping. Of course, the Lizardmen, that's the Amalja, couldn't care less about Ul'dah politics. They have their own interests, see, and they ain't afraid to use force to serve them. They say war is a gift to peddlers, need, breed, and profit, and though it shames me to say it, I'm inclined to agree. Ah, at long last. Behold Ul'dah, jewel of Thanalan, where folk turn sand into gold.
Deep in the sun-baked south, surrounded by the shifting sands of an endless desert, she rises, a solitary rose amidst the dust and rock, a symbol of defiance. Her name, Ul'dah. Even with the coming of the seventh umbral era, hope springs eternal for the mongers and merchants who vie for lost fortunes in this bustling oasis. As the twin faces of Nold Thal maintain their vigil over all that has been and shall be, the present proffers a brave soul. One whose arrival could mark the beginning of a new era of prosperity for the realm.
And here's where we part ways, lass. I'm off to the markets to deliver my wares, and it's on to the high road for me. Here, I want you to have this, by way of thanks for putting up with my prattle. You never did tell me your name, though. Hey, but here's an idea. Become the sort of storied personage I can brag about having met, and I'll consider a square.
May the traders nurture our fortunes as they kindle the flames which burn within us all. For by fire are we reborn.
Oi, Venture, over here! I mean you. Fresh off the carriage by any chance? Eh? How can I tell? Heh. Name's Wyman, and my business is knowing every bugger else's. Now then, what if I was to offer you some invaluable advice by way of welcome to our fair city? Free of charge even, just this once, like? And so we begin. Welcome to Ul'dah, the shining beacon of prosperity rising from the deserts of Thanalan. Please select the control scheme we want to use. We're going to be playing on controller as usual, because I am on PS5. And we have done all this before. I know all the controls. I have played probably approaching 2,000 hours at this point. Let me go ahead and get my everything set up real quick. I'm gonna try not to spend too much time getting everything set up, but I'll try and get a few things just set up and not awful, and then we can begin. Alright, I didn't want to spend too much time getting set up, so I'm leaving the HUD kind of as default, but I did get the extra hotbar set up and available. I resized the chat window and set it up so that only NPC dialogue shows up in the general window, hiding other player chat just for their own privacy. And I got some other basic things set up, but I'm gonna mostly just kind of leave it as is. I don't want to spend too much time getting set up for what is only going to be not that long of an opening sequence. It's same length as Gridania or as Limsa, and we're only going to be spending a limited time here. Anyways, hello there, Wyman. I am ready for you to teach me about adventuring. To be recognized as an adventurer in the city-state of Ul'dah, you must first register yourself with the Adventurers Guild. Just plain to anyone with eyes that you don't know your way around here. If I let you go wandering off down the nearest dark alley, you're certain to get mugged or worse, and I don't want that on my conscience. So before you do anything else, you'll want to head over to the quicksand and speak with Momodi. She's the master of the Adventurers Guild and can set you on the right path. Just take those steps over yonder and pass through the double doors. You'll find her inside. And that's as much as you're getting for free. Good luck with the adventure and adventurer. I mean, that is a pretty good start. That sends us off to speak with the Adventurers Guild. You have begun a quest. Use the duty list to help you complete your task. You may notice I have managed to finally figure out how to turn off tutorials. Normally I would leave the tutorials in place, but since we've already seen them all, since this is not our first time going through an opening sequence in this series, I'm gonna go ahead and leave them as hidden. It'll still pop up when we get new tutorials, so we can go and check them out if we want, but we've seen them all. Hello there, Momodi. Why, hello there, who might you be? If you're looking to join the Adventurers Guild, you've come to the right place. Name's Momodi, and I own this fine establishment, if it please you. I also manage the Adventurers Guild here in Ul'dah, so you might say that looking after green adventurers like yourself is my vocation. And looking for you, that is. Without someone like me to steer you right, you'd soon find yourself out in the middle of nowhere, caught up in business you don't understand. Like our conflict with the Amalja, for example. They've been plaguing the Sultanate for nigh on, forever now. Then there's the Garlean Empire. None can say for sure what they're plotting these days, only that they are. Aye, the people drink and make merry, but underneath it all there's worry. Worry and a lingering feeling of loss. And little wonder, it's scarce been 5 years since the Lesser Moon cracked open like a giant egg, releasing an abomination intent on turning the realm into an 8th hell. So much was lost in the blink of an eye. 'Twas like the end of the world had come at last. But then things begin to get foggy. Everyone's got their own version of what happened next, some of them 2 or 3. You'd think people would remember something like that, but the fact is they don't. Nobody does. There is one thing the survivors agree on, though, the part played by a band of adventurers who laid down their lives for a realm that wasn't their own. They fought valiantly, and like so many others, they never returned. Deeds worth remembering, I'm sure you'll agree. It's just a shame our recollections of those brave heroes are as jumbled as those of the Calamity itself. Whenever we try to call their faces to mind, it's like they're standing between us and the midday sun, permanently silhouetted. I'll bet that sounds poetic to you, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It's bloody infuriating. But even if we can't remember them, we'll not let them be forgotten, and so we call them the Warriors of Light. And they'll forever stand as a shining example of what adventurers can achieve. That's why I welcome new arrivals like yourself to our fair city. All that I ask is you lend a helping hand and try to leave Ul'dah in a better state than you found her. If you can promise that, I'd be happy to let you join the guild. Alright then, a promise is a promise now. I'm counting on your help to put the past behind us. We need people working and spending and bickering like the old days. And a happy and prosperous Ul'dah means more business for the quicksand too. Any road, let's make this official. Go ahead and write your name in the register, neat as you can. Satora Epicon. And as I did with the Gridania opening arc, I did let the game pick a random last name for her just to help distinguish her from the other two versions of Satora. Well, ain't that a charming name? Just rolls off the tongue, it does. Alright, Miss Epicon, on behalf of the Adventurers Guild, I officially... Please, sir, be merciful. 12 is my witness. I swear to you, I'll bring your money. In the East, it is said that even a merciful god might be driven to vengeance if thrice blasphemed. Be grateful you were given a fourth chance to offend. You two, attend to this scum. No, please, mercy! Well, ain't that a sorry sight? Nor an uncommon one, if I'm honest. Don't worry, though. If you work hard, I doubt you'll end up like him. And you don't see anything wrong with that? Just the same, if you ever need a bit of advice about one thing or another, pay me a visit. Just don't go bothering me every time you stub your bloody toe, alright? Of course, I do enjoy hearing a lady muse on the many manhoods of her acquaintance from time to time. Sorry, Momodi, but Satora is a lesbian. Any road, welcome to Ul'dah, Satora. Take a moment to catch your breath and I'll teach you a little about our fair city. Okay, I guess she's not strictly lesbian. She is bisexual with a preference. I'm thinking about who her partner, who she eventually ends up dating and not dating later on, and yeah. She has a preference for women, but she's definitely, it's more accurate to say she's bisexual. And that concludes the introductory game tutorial. You have taken the first step as an adventure in the city of Ul'dah. Listen well to the wisdom of Momodi Modi, then go forth and discover the incredible adventures that await you. Alright then, let's get started now with our first main scenario quest to get going. Momodi, the proprietress of the Quicksand, wants you to perform 3 tasks that will help you learn the fundamentals of adventuring. Before you go charging off to find your fortune, I have a few basic tasks I'd like you to perform so as to help you get to know the place. First of all, I want you to visit the Aetheryte Plaza. To get there, head west from here till you reach Emerald Avenue, then look to the north. You should see a giant floating crystal called an Aetheryte. If it weren't for Aetherites traveling around Eorzea, it would be a damn sight more troublesome than it is. Of course, you still need to attune with them before you can use them, so be sure to do that with the one in the plaza. You ever attuned with an Aetheryte before, Satora? If not, just lay your hand on the thing and you'll see what I mean. When you've done that, I want you to pay a visit to the Pugilist Guild over at the Platinum Mirage. Yeah, I picked Pugilist. Sorry, but we do have to put up with Hamon. Assuming those weapons of yours ain't just for show, you might consider training there. And finally, I want you to visit the Sapphire Avenue Exchange over on the Steps of Thal. Goods from all across Eorzea and beyond are turned up there every day. You'll have no trouble finding armor, weapons, or anything else a fledgling adventurer like yourself might need. You might say that everything's for sale here in Ul'dah, as long as you've got the guild. Just make sure you don't pay. You don't pay as more than you ought to, Satora. There's plenty as won't scruple to swindle unsuspecting foreigners like yourself, especially if they think no one's looking out for their best interests. Which is why I'm giving you this letter. When you visit the exchange, find a gentleman named Cesaroga and give it to him. He'll be happy to tell you about the markets once he's read it. In short then, visit the Aetheryte Plaza, the Pugilist Guild, and the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Simple. Oh, but before you go, a word of advice. Oh, there are more than a few unsavory characters out there who will try to take advantage of you. There are also some with honest-to-goodness problems who you should consider offering a helping hand to. A lot of folks are lured to the city by the promise of wealth and power. What many of them fail to realize is that instead of chasing after gil the moment they get here, they ought to be making friends. Let it be known that you're willing to give as much as you get, and opportunities will come your way. Speaking of which, you should speak with the smith over yonder. Those lads always have some good advice for up-and-coming adventures. Otherwise, that's about it for me. It's past time you got going. Oh, and let me know when you finish, will you? That way I won't spend my days worrying that you're down to your small clothes without a gil to your name. Alright, let's get started. So, 3 destinations. First off, the Aetheryte, then the Pugilist Guild, then the markets. We'll do it in that order. So, as I believe I did with the Gridania opening arc, any side quests which we did in the main series, which are available regardless of your starting city, I will be doing off-screen. I will also be doing the class quests off-screen, and hunting logs, etc. Anything that's shared with the rest of the game that you can do whichever city you start in, I'm going to do largely off-screen. For anything that is exclusive to people who start in Ul'dah, I will be showing in this mini-series. Hail, adventurer! Might you have come at the behest of Miss Momodi of the Quicksand? Excellent, which brings us to the matter of the attunement fee. That'll be 100,000 gil, if you please, madam. Excuse me? Apologies, but I do so relish the opportunity to make that jest. The look on your face was absolutely priceless. But the fact that you were so easily deceived suggests to me that you are unfamiliar with the use of aetherites. Allow me to explain. These crystalline agglomerations tap into ethereal energies and are primarily used as a means to travel swiftly from one place to another. Perchance you have heard of return and teleport. Well, these transportation spells make direct use of the aetherites and their connection to the flow of ether. Given that there is an aetherite in almost every corner of Eorzea, any adventurer with a mind to explore the realm will wish to seek out and attune herself to each and every one. But even if you have no intention of wandering beyond the Sultanate's borders, it would be prudent for you to attune yourself to any aetherites you encounter from now on. I pray you found that informative. Should you wish to learn more about aetherites or transportation magic, I should be happy to answer your questions. Alright, and we learned return, and I believe we've learned teleports as well. Or at least now we can use teleports. Alright, next up, the Pugilist Guild. Not too far of a trek from here, just to the south, and then right in this door, actually. Wow, it's almost like picking Pugilist Guild was the optimal way for getting around in this opening quest. That is not why I picked it. Alright, hello there, Gagaruna! Greetings and welcome to the Pugilist Guild. I see you already walked the path of the Pugilist, yet your journey has only just begun. I highly recommend you add your name to our roll, for there is no better place in all the realm to train in our discipline than here. The origins of pugilism as we know it can be traced back to the staging of barehanded bouts at the Colosseum. These contests attracted fighters from far and wide, bringing their myriad cells crashing together on the blood sands. Amidst this chaotic intermingling of styles, there arose a pugilist of singular strength and skill. This woman made her life's mission to master every form she encountered that she might refine her art. Among her many song-worthy exploits, we pugilists remember her participation in a gladiator tournament most fondly. Back when barehanded fighting was still seen as a pastime for peasants, she took on fully armed and armored gladiators and effortlessly bested the lot of them. Word of her feat spread across the realm like wildfire, of course, and Ul'dah swiftly transformed into a center of pugilism, with people flocking from all over to train under this master among masters. The woman's name was Cornelia, and it is to her that the Pugilist Guild owes its existence. The art practice here is based on her all-encompassing style, and this training hall is modeled upon the one which she once built. And there it is, a brief history of our guild. I've told this tale 1,000 times, but gods, it never fails to fan the flames of my fighting spirit. Now then, should you wish to proceed with enrollment, you must first obtain the Guildmaster's approval. Let me know if you'd like to meet him. Alright, I will do that off-screen between episodes. For now, let's head on to the markets finally. So that is going to take us all the way around to the Steps of Thal to the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. And we will be sure to get the Aetheryte by the Adventurers Guild on the way. Well, the Aethernet Shard. I always conflate Aetheryte and Aethernet Shard, and I need to stop doing that. Oh, right, I don't have my sprint macro set up. I forgot to do that. Is that... Are macros shared between... No. Yes. Maybe. Copy. Paste. Let's set that up real quick, just because I'm gonna... I kind of want to be able to do that. Button configuration. Execute macro 98. Perfect. Awesome. Sprint is all set up. Alright then, where is Cesaroga? There you are! And you are? Oh, a newly come adventurer. But of course, yes, I am Cesaroga. What can I do for you? Ah, you would have me teach you the ways of the marketplace? Very wise. As for my fee... What? You expect me to do it for free? Surely you jest. My dear adventurer, when you ask for an Ul'dah for a favor, you should at least try to make it worth his while. Judging by your garb, I rather doubt you could afford my services, but the fact you offer nothing is laughable. Well, I have a letter of introduction for you, actually. Oh, Mistress Momodi instructed you to seek me out, did she? Consider yourself fortunate to have some influential friends. I shall be brief, and you shall be attentive. You stand in the Sapphire Avenue Exchange, the busiest and most profitable marketplace in the Sultanate. Being advantageously situated in relation to other city-states, Ul'dah's markets have ever served as both the literal and figurative centers of Eorzean commerce. All the great overland trade routes lead to our city, and the majority of maritime trade between Vilbren and Aldenard passes through our ports. Because of this, countless companies and consortia have chosen Ul'dah as their base of operations. They see to it that this marketplace is awash with merchants and moneylenders, day and night. Anything a man could ever desire can be purchased here, provided as he has sufficient funds. Surely there's something you seek, adventure, a deadlier sword perhaps, or a shinier trinket. Whatever it is you want, the exchange will have it. To the north, you will find merchants peddling armor and accessories, curatives, and crafting materials. And to the south, you will find weapons, tools, and an assortment of other useful items for sale. Seek out a particular merchant or browse to your heart's content, but do try to remain aloof should you find something that piques your interest. Decisions made in the heat of the moment are usually unwise, especially where coin is concerned. That is all the complimentary aid you shall have from me, and far too much for my taste. My regards to Momodi. Now off with you. Have I mentioned that out of all the city-states, Ul'dah is my most hated? Did I forget to get the Aethernet Shard? I totally did, didn't I? I got distracted by the fact that I needed to set up Sprint, and immediately forgot. Good job, me. Yep, I forgot it. Alright, well, oh well, we can just fast travel back to the Aetheryte Plaza, grab it on our way back to the guild, and then that will be fine. Everything will be fine. And there goes our Sprint. At least it's not going to be too far of a walk to get around to the quicksand, to the Adventurers Guild. Just need to remember to actually grab that shard, and then we can head in and talk to Momodi. Alright, there we are. Now let's go let her know that we have finished our tour. Our very brief tour of a very small portion of Ul'dah, but our tour nonetheless. How was your tour of the city, Satora? Get lost, did you? Aye, well, Ul'dah's a big place with lots to see and do, but wandering around aimlessly don't pay the bills. If you're serious about making a living here, you'll need to remember where things are. So when you go exploring, explore like you've got a purpose, eh? Alright then, all that's left is for you to work hard, make money, and spend it here at the quicksand. I'm sure I will be spending most of my money here, Mumodi. Alright, and with that, between episodes, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the Pugilist quest. And next time on Final Fantasy XIV, the Ul'dah opening arc. We are speaking again to Momodi, once we have enough levels, and continuing the main story with We Must Rebuild. I will see everyone next time for that.